two parcels, I should say, are going to be combined into one zoning lot. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, in 2022, from what I can see, the subject parcels were combined by Lake County. If you look at the tax assessor's information, and I think if you look at that, that is on page 8, or no, actually page 9 of the packet. The assessor's office has what they call a split combined summary for properties, which give the original parcels for the zoning, and then they give a parcel number for the combination. In this particular case, the combined one is the one on bottom, which ends in 2019. And I think that those are labeled based on the year, but I'm not positive on that. So when you look at the county records and you do a search of this property, as Yuri indicated, it will come up as the total of the two properties under the one index number. So it's as if the county is ahead of us. But in order for the village to recognize this as a single zoning lot, we have to go through the process of having the sign-offs by not only this commission, the village board, and the other agencies that I was talking about, and the homeowners association in Yuri's case is not accepting this as a single lot until such point in time as he goes through this and gets that Mylar recorded with the county.
Okay, so there's no conditions, no ordinance conditions that are not met?
As far as I read, no.
Okay. And my second question is, why is the survey so old? And what can we do about that?
I can't answer that. The survey from 61 is the latest that we have. I asked Yuri about, providing us a survey from the point in time that he bought the property. I believe he indicated that he did not have one. That's not a totally uncommon condition. This is the earliest record that we could see. But as part of this process, he will have to have the property resurveyed and the existing conditions outlined in it, because the 61 survey shows the previous home, or it doesn't even show the previous home, but we do have records of plats that show it. But this is the only one where I could get a full plat, to present basically for the boundary of the properties. So the final plat that he presents is going to have to show the house, the setbacks, the existing setbacks, the required setbacks, the easements we talked about, et cetera.
So is that a condition that we can write in our conditions if we approve?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And just one. This property was purchased as foreclosure property. So it was not provided any information bank that own it. I bought it without survey, and I'm planning to make one when I build, so that accurately present existing structure on a plot. So I did survey, but for stacking only when they do foundation and stuff. But I don't have formal survey, and planning to do it after completion.
Okay, so you don't have a problem providing that as part of the approval, as we've just discussed?
I wasn't asked for that, no.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't asked to provide survey. This is what I submit, and it was approved.
Okay, but you do not have a problem having it be a condition to the consolidation? This will be part of our approval if we approve.
No, I don't have problems.
Okay. Are there any other questions? All right, then I guess we should vote on the application. Is that the appropriate thing?
Yes, it would be.
All right, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Carrie. I guess we should have a voice vote.
Before you do that,
Yes.
I would suggest that we could read into the record conditions that we are looking for applying. That we are looking to apply to the final plat.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so do you want to state them, or should we just read them?
Well, I would fall back to, under action requested on page 2, I would fall back to the 3 items that are here. The first, that the final Mylar is prepared, and it needs to be signed and sealed, obviously, by a licensed land surveyor. The appropriate agency and commission sign-offs all need to be on there before it's presented to the village board. There needs to be an indication of the remaining allowable area of protected woodlands that may be removed in the future, which has been determined to be 0.66 acres. And a utility and drainage easement along the private road limits should be indicated on the plat for existing utilities that are installed adjacent to and/or on his property.
Can we also say something about including the final revised plat of survey? An updated plat of survey showing whatever the parameters everyone.
That would be part of the final plat of survey.
Okay,
It would be part of that Mylar. The house is of, is substantially completed on the exterior, though it's been several months that I've been there. But from what I saw, there would be enough there for the land surveyor to pick up the location of the house, the driveway, and things like that. So though Yuri had originally wanted to get a plat when the whole thing was done, in order to accomplish what he's trying to do here, he needs to, in essence, do it now. But the profile of the foundation is not going to change. Surveyor that Yuri indicated before is a requirement under construction, during construction, to assure us that the final location of the house is in compliant with the zoning setbacks. So if that's already been done and accomplished, but that was before my time here, so I'm assuming that that's all been fine. So I've never heard anything to the negative with regard to that. So the surveyor should be able to locate the house. He might say it's still under construction as far as the plat, but I don't see that as an issue with this.
okay. So Sherry,
So,
is your
okay.
motion?
I amend my motion to include the it's 4 requirements that we've discussed here on the final plat.
And Carrie, your second is still valid? Okay. All right, so can we please have a voice vote?
Commissioner Blaylock,
Aye.
Commissioner Greter,
Aye.
Commissioner Marshall, Commissioner Romanelli,
Aye.
Commissioner Rothbard.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, the motion's approved. Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Good night. There's no old business. Staff report.
Thank you, Chair. So going through the previous list, start again with the Brunch Factory. Mayor and I are going to be meeting with the business owner next week. We've been in somewhat constant contact with Dimitri. We believe that we have a way that he can legally move forward with the gaming terminals, but that would result in some loss of the use of some of the tables within the restaurant. So we're not finalized, but we're think tanking it, and we will likely have a direction sometime next week. Camp Bow Wow, still have heard nothing. It's been 3, if not 4 months. I'm taking that off my list because I don't assume that that's going to happen anytime in the near future. Baby Vegas, apologize, I have no update on that. The last I was there, they were still waiting for the fire alarm system to be approved. I think that has been done recently. Some of the issue with that is that technology has changed through the years from the time that the original shopping center was installed or constructed, I should say. The current available fire alarm devices are not compatible with the existing fire alarm panel. So therefore, we could either have a fire alarm system only in the Baby Vegas space, or we could have a fire alarm system in everything but the Baby Vegas space. But we don't want that. We want everything. So they did come through, and I believe that it's been, Vivian, can you correct me on this? Has the fire alarm shop drawings been approved yet?
They passed.
Okay, so we are moving forward with regard to that, but that is the next step because they can't go further with an electrical inspection until those devices are at least piped. Orange Brace and Juneberry is a case where the property at 3200 Orange Brace Road and Juneberry Road, there are two lots there under same there's two lots there under same ownership. The owner would like to actually combine those two properties and then in the next breath cut a third one off of it so that they can build another single-family home there. They just this last week submitted a revised plat of survey to us. However, they left off two of the key items that we wanted to see on it before we could move it forward to the commission for review. So we have let them know, and we're just waiting for the new survey to come through.
So at the end of the day, Steve, is that going to be 2 or 3 homes at the end of the day?
It'll be 3. At least they think that it'll be 3. But I think the thing they have to prove to us at this point is whether or not the subdivision cuts off part of the septic field or a well that might be servicing the 2 properties. And if that's the case, then they have to figure out how they're going to accommodate that for the 2 existing properties, let alone what happens to the 3rd. So, and we're just not going to willy-nilly let them cut it apart and then go, oh, by the way, Walters Kluwer, we have no update. There's been no action on that. Federal Life, on the other hand, is moving forward in discussions with between the village and Federal Life regarding the purchase of the property. There is no letter of intent at this point, and there is no executed purchase agreement at this time. However, both sides, the village and the county and the fire department, fire district, I should say, are working to see how feasible this still remains. We're very optimistic that this will actually occur. Home rentals, been no action on that for 3 or 4 months, so I'm taking that off the list. And then the Riverwoods Montessori School has again contacted us. I spoke with them several weeks ago, looking for a site plan and some survey information, particularly with topography, to understand where the proposed garage would go. That will need to move forward with a special use permit to get a second garage structure on that property. So we're still waiting some of that information. 2 others, Trudy subdivision, which is at 2930 and 2950 Duffy Lane, is the one that I was referring to earlier. That property is being considered for a subdivision into 3 buildable lots. It has gone through engineering review. Attorney Hoover is looking at it with regard to easement restrictions that we need to have on the property. So my guess is within the next week or so, we'll have that. And at some point very soon, that should be coming to the commission for review. And last on the list is Orphans of the Storm. They are at this point considering a redevelopment and large expansion of their existing facilities, which might increase their buildable area. I don't have an exact number, but it's somewhere between 2 and 3 times what they currently are. It involves a lot of flip-flopping of parking. The employee parking versus public parking is going to be flipped around. There's some issues with regard to the berms there that probably protect some the neighborhoods from noise. The issue there is that the animal shelter was grandfathered into the zoning district as a special use. However, they never got a special use permit because they were already there. So they do need to go through the Plan Commission for a special use permit in order to do this project. We just met with them this week, and they are preparing surveys and some other information for us so that staff can take a look at it and do the initial meeting before we actually bring it forth to the Planning Commission. So again, that's something that I'm thinking is probably going to be looking at the June, maybe July meeting, but that is forthcoming. And that's the report.
Thank you very much. Any questions of the director? Okay, I have no comments, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, our next meeting date is June 6th. Thank you.
So moved to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Have a good evening.